Wednesday, Irving police joined the FBI to announce that after thousands of tips and 6 years on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list, Saeed had been captured in Justin, Texas in Denton County.
A convict who blew up his own house, a Russian spy who is leaking American intel to the Russian government, and a white supremacist who tried to kill a police officer. We are covering all of these on today's list. Coming in at number 10, we have Robert William Fisher. You don't have to spend much time on the FBI's most wanted list to find this guy. Fisher has been on the run since 2001 and no one knows where he could be right now. The reason that he's been on the run is because he's the main suspect in a murder case. It's pretty clear that he killed his wife and child and then blew up their house. This dude is supposed to be extremely dangerous, so if you see him after watching this video, you should call the police and probably not approach him. It's thought that he could be armed at any time, as Fisher was an outdoorsman and a hunter prior to exploding his house. It's safe to say that this guy is a very good shot. No one knows where he could be right now, but through some investigating, the FBI has determined that he could be somewhere in New Mexico or Florida. What if he's watching this video right now? That could be kind of terrifying. But if you do see him, you might be able to get a big cash prize. The FBI is offering $100,000 for any information that leads to the arrest of this man. Also, he tends to chew tobacco, so you could set like a little tobacco trap for him. Coming at number 9 is Eugene Palmer. There's more than one old crazy dude on the run in the US. Eugene Palmer looks like an evil Santa Claus because of his big white beard with no mustache. Also, his face has that whole rosy thing going on. I don't know why his face is so bright, but it could light up a room, and not in a good way. Everyone would be looking at him because he's one of the most wanted men in America. This guy killed his stepdaughter and then disappeared. This guy's been on the run since 2012, and when he was first on the run, he was making headlines everywhere. He has a deformed thumb as one of his trademark features, so if you see an old Santa dude with a weird thumb walking around, you could bet that this could be this dude. And just so we all know, there's also a $100,000 reward for any information that leads to the rest of this man. I mean, that sounds like the best payday of all time. You get to put a bad man in jail, and at the same time you get a bunch of moolah. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell, and stick around until the end of this list because I'm going to be shouting out some questions from my Instagram inbox. If you want me to shout out your question, you can hit me up through the gram. And now let's move right on to number 8. Coming in at number 8, we have YOUSEF KURDY. When you dive into the world of medicine, we start to learn that doctors aren't all what they seem to be. I always thought that doctors could be the most trusted people on the planet, but that's not the case. They are human just like the rest of us, and they can be corrupted. That's why it's so important to get a good family doctor. Well, YOUSEF KURDY was not doing a great job as a doctor. He submitted 35,000 false medical claims. He charged tons of people for medical services that he was never present for, and he was trying to take a bunch of people's money and money from the government. On top of all this, he was never paying his taxes. And in the States, you might get away with a lot of things, but not paying your taxes is not one of them, unless you're a billionaire. If you miss a tax payment, you better believe that the long arm of the law is going to come crashing through your window. Coming in at number 7, we have David Anthony Durham. The story of this case is pretty wild. No one really knows why David did what he did, but it seems like he was hiding something from the police. He was pulled over, and instead of complying with the officer, he shot the man several times. The officer survived but was in critical condition. After that, there was a chase and a shootout. This led to Durham taking off and losing the police. From there, no one knows what really happened to David Anthony Durham. It's thought that he might be living out in the wilderness, as he's been known to have some pretty extensive survival skills and was wearing head-to-toe camo when he originally went missing. Coming in at number 6, we have Christopher Robert Metzos. There are a lot of ways you can get your hands dirty. One of those ways is getting a job with the government and never identifying that you are actually working with a foreign institution and then leaking information to said institution. Metzos was working with the Russian government and leaking information about the American government while simultaneously laundering money. This guy was on some big time moolah schemes. Holy moly! These crimes happened between the years 1993 and 2005, and this guy has been on the run ever since. It's thought that he might be back in Russia. He's probably living like a king because he was once a spy working working in the States and leaked a bunch of info, and if he indeed is over there, the FBI aren't going to be able to track him down anytime soon. If you do have information about how to arrest this man, then you should know that the FBI will hook you up with $50,000. Not bad if you ask me. Coming in number 5 is IDALIA Ramos RANGEL. You know, when you earn the nickname Big Mama, you're doing some big time schemes. Big Mama is one of the major people working with the cartels in Mexico. It's thought that she's working with the Gulf cartel and has organized hundreds of kilos of cocaine to be delivered to the United States. In fact, it could be thousands of kilos, but some of the deliveries are hard to track back. But here's the kicker. Apparently Big Mama uses Facebook all the time. The reason that the FBI hasn't been able to close down on her is because she operates out of Mexico and she's not within the jurisdiction of America. Not a bad life. You're sending drugs to a country that you don't live in, so you don't have to worry about being arrested, and you make a bunch of money. She's got it figured out. If you have any information that could lead to the arrest, you should contact the FBI and you will get a $25,000 reward. Although if this lady found out you were ratting her out, she probably would have you killed faster than you could dial the phone, or she could probably pay you more money to not talk to the FBI. Coming in at number 4, we have Ji Dong. Criminals are constantly getting more savvy. You never know how the next con man is going to try and rip money from your hands. Ji Dong had a very clever plan. He used a platform similar to eBay to auction off a bunch of items. Somewhere around 5,000 people purchased belongings off of Dong, and then they waited for their goods to arrive, but after a little while everyone thought it was strange that they never got their goods. That's because these people had been duped. There was nothing that he could sell off. All of these people had just been conned. The brilliance of this plan was he was able to snag $800,000 away from people in one single swoop and then ran away to Hong Kong, where he cannot be arrested. To make nearly $1 million that quickly is insane. He can't come back to the United States or he will quickly be arrested. Coming in at number 3, we have Timothy Thomas Combs. This guy has a laundry list of things that he should be taken in for. He's a member of the Christian Identity Movement, which is a group that has been plotting to take down the government and bolster several white supremacist values. Right there, that should be enough to have him locked away, but there's even more. There's a warrant that was issued for his arrest because Coombs walked into the home of a Michigan state trooper and shot the dude in the chest. Thankfully the trooper survived, but Combs got away. It's unknown where he could be today, but it seems that he has supporters all throughout America and could be hiding anywhere. Coming in at number 2, we have AMHED AGHA. And once again, we got someone using the interweb to attack people online and make a bunch of people's lives worse. AMHED AGHA is a cyber criminal who has been working with the Syrian Electronic Army. This guy is one of the most skilled hackers that has been attacking America today. He has used his knowledge of how to navigate the internet to go after American news organizations, private and public companies, and he has done all of this to gain information and power for Syria. He did all of this hacking under the username The Pro, which is kinda badass. But after the SEA attacked so many American businesses, they started to do some counterintelligence to find out who these people were, and that's how we got this guy's name. Right now there is a massive arrest warrant out for this man, and if you have any information that could bring him in, you will be awarded $100,000. But if you brought him in, he would probably just hack into all of your things and leak all of your nudes. Coming in at number 1, we have Jason Derek Brown. This dude is a Mormon. I didn't know that Mormons could be so criminal. This guy is off the rails and has been on the run since 2004. To start off, this guy has been hiding and is good at it. One of the reasons this guy is hard to track down is because he has at least 7 different known aliases. I don't even know how you could remember 7 different fake names you made up yourself. I can barely remember 7 people who I work with every day. Well, what did this guy do? Well, this guy actually took down an armored car and shot and killed the guard. He then took off with the money and hasn't been seen since. It's said that this guy has a craving to be in the limelight, and the few times that the police have almost caught up with him, they have found that he is always showing off at nightclubs and showing everyone all of his expensive toys. You think that if you were one of the most wanted people in America, you would try and lay low. On top of all of this, he used to be a Mormon missionary and he went over to Paris, and so he is apparently fluent in French. This dude is a serious con artist and very dangerous. Alright everyone, that has been our list. Now I'm going to answer some questions from my Instagram inbox. Maestro Cadenza wrote in and asked what happened happens if we are at the center of the earth? I mean, I don't know. It means we've been lied to this whole time and nothing is real. Carrie Ann Danville wrote in and asked, what's your favorite part of doing top 10 videos? Honestly, I like the research because you learn so many cool things. And Sakaz Hub wrote in and asked, what's the point of complicated math? Well, I think it's for people that are much smarter than us to invent things that we don't understand but make our lives easier. Alright everyone, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I have been your host, Jay Arena, and watch out for criminals, because they're bad. Bye.